So today I'm going to be bringing y'all a video on how I got into my top HBCU colleges. I'm going to be showing y'all the application process, tips, my stats, all that good stuff. So without further ado, let's get into it. To just give y'all a rundown, my major is business with a concentration in entrepreneurship. So I decided my junior year to research schools that had business but also had fashion as an option, because I want to be a fashion designer, so I want to be able to take that like as a minor. So I was researching and stuff, and I came across a few schools, and then to like narrow down my list, I started looking at YouTube videos about the schools, started searching into their cost of attendance, if they offer scholarships, the area, the school in itself, just everything. I was researching like crazy my junior year. So I narrowed it down to my 4 top schools, which was Clark Atlanta University, North Carolina A&T State University, Howard University, and Alabama State University. So we gonna start with the whole application process. So let me tell y'all. So I decided that I was gonna apply early because I wanted to get the benefits of applying early, which is getting your letter before like regular decision people. What else with applications early? You have like a better chance of getting scholarships and all that other stuff. But I made a mistake. I was putting off my application for too long, and I didn't do it until like the last minute. And I missed one of my deadlines, which was for NCAT. And so I was like really nervous about that because I missed the deadline, but I was like, it's okay. I'm gonna still get in. But I was still like nervous. I'm like, oh my God, I missed the deadline. What if I don't get in? But I did, which was good. So basically, to start off my whole application, first I had to get some fee waivers. So in order to qualify a fee waiver, you probably have to talk to like a school counselor or principal, whoever like runs college related things at your school. So I talked to my school counselor. She said I was eligible for a fee waiver. So she sent me my code, and I was able to apply my fee waivers to all 4 schools, which was good, because if I hadn't, I would have been paying like over 100 in application fees, which I feel like is ridiculous, because like just to apply to the school, you gotta pay. I feel like that's ridiculous. So I was really happy that I got to get a fee waiver. So definitely before you start your application, make sure you qualify for that, because if you don't, at least you need to make sure that you have the money for it. So next, on my list. So next, after I had to like look at fee waivers and stuff, then I got to actually start my applications. So I was looking down at the dates. Clark Atlanta, Howard, and Alabama State all had a November 1st deadline, I believe, for early action. And like I said, NCAT, I missed that one. That was on October 19th, so I had to do regular decision for that. But it was cool. I still like managed to get all my applications in on the same day, which was good. The only downside was that Alabama State didn't have a application on Common App, which is an app where like you can apply to schools all at once. So I had to do my Alabama State application on their website, but it wasn't that long. Like it was like basically the same. It just wasn't on Common App. So on Common App, they basically have you answer questions for each school. Like, do you want to stay on campus? Do you want to join clubs? What's your major? Stuff like that. And then you have to actually do the application. So you have to put in your name and all that other stuff. Family life, if you're the only person going to college, or if you have another person going to college at the same time as you. Parents' information. Then you have to put in where you go to school when you're graduating. If you're attending a college like I am, because I'm attending a community college because I graduated early. So I had to put that in. I had to put in the classes that I was currently taking when I applied and my grades for them. I had to put in any like awards that I received in school. Any community-based organizations that you're in, you can add that, because that looks really good on your application. And then future plans, like what do you want to be in the future after college. And when do you plan to stop school? Like, do you plan to receive your bachelor's, your PhD, you know, stuff like that. So then after education, you have to put in testing. All my schools were test optional, but I still chose to put in my test scores because I feel like since everybody was thinking, oh, it's test optional, so I'm not gonna have to put in my scores. But me, I was like, that'll be an advantage for me because I get to stand out to the school. If I'm putting in test scores, I'm putting in an essay, I'm putting in everything I need to. Stuff like that just makes me stand out. So in testing, you just basically put what test you took, and then through College Board, that's where you're gonna send like the actual test. Excuse me. So then after testing, you have to put in all the activities you did, which is like extracurriculars that were in school or out of school. I did a lot of extracurriculars in school and I did a couple out of school, so I put those in. And then lastly, you have to put in your recommendation letters from, you have to have a counselor recommendation and a teacher recommendation, I believe. So the way my school did it, there was an application that you had to fill out to request a recommendation letter from whoever you needed it from. So I filled that out. I got it sent to my two favorite teachers and my counselor, and they filled it out for me. And the way it is like you have to send a request for a y'all, I need to slow down. This is my problem. When I talk too fast, I start stuttering and tripping over my words. Okay. On the Common App, you have to send a request through Common App to get a recommendation letter from your teachers and your counselor, because they don't want you to see like what they're writing about you, because they want it to be like 100% truthful. So I know some other schools do this too, because Alabama State did this, but like I know other schools don't do this. So like it really just depends on like where you're applying and what school you're applying to. But this is how it is on Common App. So you have to send a request through there, and then the teacher or counselor can just add it from their computer, which is all good. Then lastly, you have your writing supplement. So on my list, NCAT, Alabama State did not require essays, but Clark and Howard did. So I sent an essay to NCAT and Clark and Howard, but somehow, I don't know why, like I think like something messed up with my application at Alabama State, because I wasn't able to send a essay on there. I don't know why, but like it didn't let me. But on Clark, Howard, and NCAT, it let me. So I did my writing supplement. They give you like 6 questions. Let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or 7 questions. And you just choose one of the questions and you write about whatever it is. So me personally, I don't really want to talk about what I wrote about because it was very personal to me. But I will give y'all like tips and stuff about your essay later on. So I did my essay, and it's like a 650 word count, and I had like 644 words. I actually had to shorten mine down because it was super long. Because if you know me, I'm a very avid writer. So I had to shorten mine down like by a lot. And then you have to put in like disciplinary history, like if you got kicked out of school, suspended, anything like that. And lastly, they give you like an option to talk about like how COVID affected your school year. And I really just chose to write about like how COVID affected my SAT scores, because I feel like if I had the resources that I had before COVID, if I got to utilize them before I took my SAT, I would have had gotten a better score. So you don't have to answer that section, but I feel like it's a good thing. Like if you have low test scores or a low GPA, I feel like that's a good thing to answer. And that's pretty much it. After you turn all that in, you just click that submit, that you're ready, and it just goes in, and you just gotta wait. So after sending in my application, it took about, it depends on the school, because with NCAT, this surprised me. This was my first acceptance, which surprised me because that was like the deadline, like the early action deadline that I missed. But I was super happy about it. So they sent me my application. They sent me my admission decision like 2 weeks after I applied. Then Alabama State sent me one like a month after I applied. Then Howard sent me one in December, and then Clark has sent me one in January. So NCAS sent me mine through the email first, and then they sent me one in the mail like a few weeks after that. Same with Alabama State. They sent me they actually didn't send me nothing. I had to look on the student center to see if I got admitted, and it said I did. And then they sent me my acceptance letter like a couple weeks after I seen that on the student center. Howard, they emailed me like I think like 2 weeks before they were gonna send my acceptance letter, and they basically said we're gonna be sending your letters soon, so stay on the lookout for your email and blah blah blah. So they sent out a notice that they're gonna be sending them soon. Then lastly, Clark, they sent me like a couple letters emails that they were gonna be sending it to me soon, but I got mine unexpectedly because I had seen like all these other people getting their letters, and I'm like, when is mine coming in? Like, I hit the early action deadline, like what's going on? So one day I was just checking my emails, and I was like, let me check my spam, because I remember somebody in college told me you should always check your spam, because sometimes colleges send out so many emails that sometimes they can go to your spam mail. So I checked my spam, and there it was, just sitting there waiting for me. I was so happy. So, and they sent me mine I think in the middle of January. So Clark Atlanta was the one that's like took the longest, but like I was still happy because I got into all 4 schools. So yeah, really you just gotta pay attention to like dates. Like definitely on social media was helping me, besides like the emails that I was getting from schools. But social media was helping me because I was seeing other people talk about the deadlines. I was seeing other people talk about them getting their letters. I was seeing people talk about what they saw the school say about letters. So definitely like search up, if you have Twitter, definitely search up your hashtags about your school. Or if you have Instagram, search it in your like explore page. So stuff like that to keep you updated. So now I'm gonna get into like everything like specifically on my application. So first we're gonna talk about my stats. So I graduated a semester early with extra credits and a 3. Ooh, almost dropped my tablet. And a 3.8 GPA. That was that unweighted? I don't know if that was unweighted or weighted, but I know I had a 3.8 GPA. Then I graduated top 25% of my class. I had a 1020 SAT score. My reading was really high, but my math was so low. Like my reading literally saved me because I am horrible at math. So that I hated my score. That's why I chose to talk about how COVID affected it, because if COVID like wasn't around, I had like workshops and stuff for SAT prep. But because of COVID, we didn't really have that in person anymore. They had them like online, but with me and math, excuse me, I can't learn math online. I need to see what's going on in person. So those math workshops weren't really helping me. So my SAT score was not what I wanted it to be, but I mean, I wasn't really tripping like that because I got a 7 out of 8 on my SAT essay, which I think was let me calm down. I think that's what also saved me, because that's a pretty high score on the essay, and then mixed with my rating, so like they could see like, oh, she's smart, she just had a little mess up on the math. So that was my SAT score. I didn't take the ACT because every time I had a new testing center, because like my testing center kept getting moved, they kept canceling it because of COVID, so I never got to take my ACT. Like I said before, all my schools were test optional, but I chose to include scores anyway to stand out, because like I said before, I was like, in my head, I feel like everybody else is going to be like, oh, well, let me not send my score because it's test optional. Like, it's not like I have to. But me, I was like, let me send it so I can stand out. Then let's get into my classes. So I took about, let me see. I took 3 AP courses, I believe. 3 honors courses, and a dual enrollment course. So I took AP Euro my sophomore year, which is AP European History. I took that and received an A. I took AP Language and Composition and received an A my junior year. I also took AP US History my junior year and received an A. My dual enrollment course was an advanced media productions class, which was like just like TV and film and stuff. So I couldn't really use that to my advantage because that had nothing to do with my major. But it was still like good to have a dual enrollment credit because, like I said, just getting extra credits and like college credits, AP credits, all that really helps like your GPA and helps you stand out on it helps you stand out on applications. So I had that as a course my junior year and I received an A. I also took Honors English 1 my freshman year and Honors English 2 my sophomore year. And I took Honors Geography my freshman year. And then I took Honors Chemistry my sophomore year. And now I take English and college success courses at my local community college, which I'm going to transfer at the university I choose this fall. So I have all these high school credits, then I have extra credits from like before high school and after high school with college and stuff. So I feel like that like really helped like with my application because like I said before, I didn't just have like regular classes. I had APs, honors, dual enrollment, all types of stuff. So now let's get into my awards. So I got the athletic award in track. I got a top novice and oratorical declamation award for speech when I did speech for like a year. That's a little medal in the back. I love that little medal. I got my induction to National Honor Society award and a Student of the Month award. My extracurriculars. So I did track and field for 2 years. I did student council for 2 years. I did GSA, which is Gay Straight Alliance, for 3 years. I did speech for a year. I did National Honor Society for 2 years. I did NIA Club for a year, which is like, NIA Club was like a purpose club, but it was also like dealing a lot with like African American heritage. So we did like a lot of like events based around Black History Month, a lot of events based around just Black girls in general, because most of the club were like Black girls. So we did like a lot of like things around African American heritage. So I did NIA Club for a year. I did Leo Club for a year, which is like a community service club. And outside of school, I did an After School Matters Leadership Values program for a summer, which gave me like a lot of service hours. And that was pretty much like what I put down for my activities. Let's see what else I put on my application. I also, like I said, I submitted a resume because I think for Clark Atlanta, they gave me like an option to submit a resume. And like I said, your girl wanted to stand out. So I submitted my resume, which was including my extracurriculars, the community service I had, my job experience, and my skill set. And then lastly, my essay. So like I said before, I don't really want to talk about my essay topic because it was very personal, but I will tell you guys the question that I did mine on. So I did my question on, let's see, what did I do my question on? I did the lessons we take from obstacles we encounter can be fundamental to later success. Recount a time when you faced a challenge, setback, or failure. How did it affect you, and what did you learn from the experience? So really what I did was, okay, so this was like a really great time for me to write my essay because I had a creative writing class. And in my creative writing class, my teacher was teaching me how to show what you want to write, not tell what you want to write. Because when you show it, it just like makes your essay 1,000 times better. So, so I chose to write about like a thing that set me back my sophomore year. I wrote about it, but the thing is, you can't just focus your whole essay on the bad. You have to make sure that there's like a resolution, like a good point coming in. So I did like the first like couple paragraphs was like about the bad thing that happened. Then the last few paragraphs were when I realized I needed to change, how I changed, and what I was doing in the future. So I was like, I had to revise my essay a bunch of times, y'all. Like, I had to revise my essay about like 30 times because I had to keep adding things that was showing how I felt in that moment, not telling how I felt. I had to make sure my grammar was perfect. I made sure like my friends reread it over for me, my teachers, my counselors, everybody. I had so many people rereading my essay because I needed it to be perfect. So that is the tip that I'm giving you guys. Make sure you write about something that is very meaningful to you, that you can really know that you can write 650 words about. Then make sure it's something that will make you stand out. You can't write about something that anybody else can experience. Like, of course you can write something like somebody else's experience, but you have to make sure yours is like totally different. Like, you can't be like anybody else. Then make sure you reread it like several times. Make sure you have other people read it several of times, because you really need to make sure that your essay is perfect. Because my essay was perfect. I love my essay. But just like think about your topic for a while, because I was thinking about my topic for like a month before I even started my application. I had like a whole rough draft and everything before I even started my application. So definitely take the time to read the questions and think about your topic. Take the time to like create a list about what you could write about. What's the strongest option on there? Like I said, take the time to keep rereading it. Have anybody reread it. A friend, a teacher, a counselor, a parent, anybody. Have everybody read your essay, because you need different perspectives to see if you need to change anything. So the essay, like I said, just try not to stress yourself out too much about it. Just make sure like you plan ahead what you want to write about, your ideas, how you want to structure it. Do you want it to be like a story? Do you want it to be like present thing, past thing, future thing? Do you want it to be like just like an experience you had? Do you want it to be like your whole life story? You know, like just really like think about what you want to write about, something that's very meaningful to you, that you feel like nobody else can relate to. Like your experience has to be individual. Nobody else can relate to what you wrote. Even if they have something like related to what you wrote, they still can't relate to what you wrote, because yours is individual. Yours happened to you and you only. Can't nobody else say that this happened to them. This is how you want to think about it. Like, can't nobody read this and say, oh, this happened to me, because you don't want to be compared to anybody else. Because these college people, they're reading thousands of essays all day. So you need to really make sure you have an essay that stands out and doesn't bore them. Oh, and that's another thing. Make sure like your beginning is very strong. Start with a story, a question, a fact, anything. I started mine with a story because mine was a personal narrative that was gonna continue. Jeez, my hair's shedding. That was gonna continue like going down the line of sophomore year to now. So I started mine with a story, but it really just depends on what you're writing about. Like, you could start yours with a story, quote, question, anything that pertains to what you want to write about. I say stay away from questions though, because I know a lot of like professors that I've heard don't really like when narratives start with questions. But I mean, if you can make it good, make it good. So that was pretty much my whole application. Last thing I was going to talk to you guys about is like scholarships and stuff. So I received a $20,000 scholarship from Howard, which was a merit award. So merit award means you don't apply for it, it's just given to you. So I received a $20,000 scholarship from Howard. I received a full ride from Alabama State. I'm about to tell y'all how I did this. So with Alabama State, I didn't see anything about merit awards. So I was like, okay, let me look up some scholarships when I got accepted. So I applied to their scholarship. Like, it was like a general scholarship application that you had to write down. So you basically had to put like your name, your SAT score, how COVID impacted your decision to go to that school, and just like little questions. Like, it would probably took me like 10 minutes. So turn that in. Then they pick you for a scholarship interview. So if you get picked for a scholarship interview, they're gonna call you and they're gonna be asking you questions about like your community service experience, your extracurriculars, what you like to do outside of school, your school life, all types of stuff. So I had a scholarship interview like I think the middle of February, and then I just got my word back from them yesterday, and I got a letter that I got a full ride for all 4 years. Everything is paid off, my tuition, my required fees, my textbooks, everything for all 4 years, as long as I keep a 3.0. And it was the academic excellence. It was the academic excellence. Let me get it together. It was the academic excellence scholarship, which means they paid attention to my academics, and my scholarship interview just helped with that, which I kind of like had a feeling I was gonna get, because my interview went like really good, and like the lady I was talking to, like we was chopping it up, we was having a good conversation, and she was saying like nice things about me. I was like, okay, I'm probably gonna get this, and did. So so that's how I got the Alabama State full ride. Then NCAT, I've been applying to scholarships like crazy at NCAT, but I know like aid is not supposed to be coming out till like the end of this month or like sometime next month. So I'm just really waiting on to hear from them, because I need a scholarship, like for real. Because external scholarships, I be applying to those all the time, but those can be kind of hard to get because there's so many other people you're competing with. So I'm really just praying that I get this scholarship from NCAT. Clark Atlanta, they sadly didn't offer me any scholarships, but like I said, I'm still applying to external scholarships. So just gotta see what happens. May 1st, that's decision day. That's when I announce where I'm going to school. But that's pretty much it. So I basically gave y'all the rundown of my stats, my major, my awards, my essay, my extracurriculars, the schools I got into, my resume, all that. So really my tips to y'all would be, stay on top of your stuff. Start early. Start researching where you want to go like sophomore or junior year. Start getting together like what you need. Make good connections with your counselor and your teachers, because these are the people that need to write your letters. Definitely put some time and thought into your essay. Definitely do extracurriculars, because that helps you stand out. And out of school, you can find community service organizations all across your community, as long as you just look them up. And just stay on top of your deadlines, your work, your letters. Make sure you do clubs at school. Make sure you do a lot of studying before your tests, like SAT prep rooms, because like I said, I'm a different learner. I need like an in-person type of learning system, but some people can learn online. So make sure you do like SAT preps, ACT preps, because honestly, I was doing ACT preps and those were way easier than the SAT preps. So definitely look into taking your ACT to help your score. Make sure you just stay focused in school so you can keep up your grades. Make sure you take, like, even if you do take regular classes, make sure you get good grades in those so your GPA can stay up. Really just do whatever you can in school to make sure that your application looks the best. Awards, extracurriculars, your grades, your test scores, everything you can do to be the best student you can be. Because that is what is going to get you, I've been talking too much. That's what's going to get you into these top schools. So that's really all the advice and everything I have for y'all today. I hope y'all enjoyed this video. I hope y'all use my tips to the best of y'all knowledge and get into every school that you want to. Bye.